You keep trying to grow, but it feels like something keeps pulling you back. You know that quiet comparison? That lingering feeling that no matter what, it's never enough. Even when you give it your all, you thought that was just how it is. But what if it's not? What if that voice, the one that pressures you, judges you, wears you down, isn't even yours? It's the ego, masquerading as your conscience, subtly steering you away from your true essence without you even noticing. Meanwhile, your soul whispers, asking you to wake up. And what if today is the day you finally hear it? Stop everything. Take a deep breath. Now, ask yourself, who are you when the world goes quiet? When there are no masks, no expectations, just you and the silence. If you don't know, it's okay, because there's a voice inside you that you've been calling me. But it's not really you. It's the ego. It wears your skin, speaks in your name, and convinces you it's the only truth. The ego is an illusion, a story you started telling yourself so early on. You forgot it was just that, a story. It might protect you from fear, but it traps you in an invisible prison made of doubts and insecurities. You know that inner voice that whispers, "You're not enough?" Or the anxiety that creeps in just thinking about change? Or the fear of losing control over your own life? That's the ego sabotaging you, pulling you away from your true self. The catch? The ego doesn't want you to notice, because if you awaken to your essence, it loses its grip, and it will do everything it can to stay in control. But the ego only exists because you keep feeding it with your attention. The moment you start observing it without judgment, it begins to fade. Recognizing the ego is an urgent call, a call to your freedom, because up until now, it might have been the one choosing your dreams, your decisions, even your definition of happiness. Feeling a tightness in your chest right now? That's your soul trying to wake you up, whispering, "Awaken." This is your chance to see beyond the illusion, to break free. You feel it. You know something's off, but you just can't quite put your finger on what it is. It's like a shadow, unseen, but always there. Subtle, almost imperceptible, yet constantly pulling you away from your truth. Sometimes you try to manifest your dreams, but everything feels stuck. You do everything right, and yet it's like you're walking in circles, as if some invisible barrier is holding your destiny back, just to keep you exactly where you are. And that inner voice, the one you call reason, keeps echoing fears dressed as logic, doubts that sound like absolute truths. It's a silent game where the ego uses your own mind against you. These are the signs that the ego is in control. It doesn't shout, it whispers, keeping you trapped in a quiet prison. Maybe you feel like you don't deserve good things, or that you need to hide parts of who you are to be accepted, or that no matter how hard you try, happiness always feels out of reach. The ego thrives in the dark because the light of your awareness is the one thing that can set you free. That's why paying attention to these signs is urgent, because they are the doorway between the ego's cage and the soul's freedom. And ignoring that door could cost you years, maybe even a lifetime, wandering far from your true path. Have you ever noticed that no matter how hard you try, some things just won't move? That your plans, your intentions, keep stumbling against some invisible wall, as if something is quietly holding you back? It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's the ego subtly sabotaging your manifestations, so gently that it almost feels natural. It plants seeds of doubt, makes you question your worth, creates hidden fears, and pulls your focus away from what truly matters. It's a master of self-sabotage, manipulating your will behind the scenes just to stay in control. The more you force things, the stronger it gets. The ego thrives when fear guides your choices. But once you start to notice the pattern, you'll begin to hear another voice, quieter but deeper, your higher self. The part of you that remembers who you really are and where you're meant to go. Tuning into that voice isn't easy. The ego will always try to steal your attention, but that's where real transformation begins. When you stop feeding the noise and choose to follow your truth, you unlock a new reality. A life led by your essence, not by fear. Inside your mind, two voices quietly fight for control. One is loud, pushy, always rushing, constantly pressuring you to prove something. That's the voice of the ego, full of fear, urgency, and insecurity. A voice that disconnects you from your peace. The other is gentle, soft, almost a whisper, bringing relief in the middle of your storm. That's the voice of your higher self, full of clarity, confidence, and love. A voice that reminds you, you are already enough. Learning to tell which one is speaking is the most powerful turning point on your journey. Because only when you identify the noise of the ego can you choose to listen to your higher self instead. And that choice, it changes everything. It's the moment you stop reacting from fear and start moving with intention, manifesting a life rooted in your truth, not your sabotage. That's when real transformation begins. It takes courage because the ego will resist. But every step you take in the direction of your soul is a quiet victory of light over illusion. If you've ever felt this inner battle, share it in the comments. Your story might be the light someone else needed today. Let's build a community that awakens together, that supports, that grows, that remembers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, so you don't miss the transformation we're building together. Your soul is ready to awaken, and I'm here to help you hear the voice that will lead you home. Now that you've seen the game behind the ego, the lies it tells, the masks it wears, the loops it traps you in, it's time to choose. Stay stuck in this invisible cage where your light stays dimmed, or rise and return to your center, to your grounded, powerful, radiant self. Coming back to your center isn't about force or pressure. It's not about fixing what's wrong with you. It's an act of pure love for yourself, for your soul, and for the life you were always meant to live. It's learning to witness your thoughts without judgment, to feel your emotions without running or hiding, to act with presence and truth, even when the ego screams for control. This choice isn't easy, and it was never supposed to be, but it is the path to real freedom, to alignment, to peace. And here's the most beautiful part. You're not doing this alone. We're a soul family, awakening together, healing together, remembering who we are together. So make the choice right now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and feel that quiet pull to return to yourself, to be reborn from within. Commit to this mission, to live as your truest self. No masks, no fear, no ego running the show. If this message stirred something in you, leave a comment below. Speak your truth. Share your moment. Be seen. And if you're not already part of this space, hit subscribe. Let's keep walking this path side by side. The road ahead may be long, but the freedom that waits, it's worth every single step.